We are back at the Botanical Gardens. We've been here a few times this season, and one of my favorite places to go, and so peaceful. But today you're going to tell me a little bit about the gorgeous flow form that's here and how that came to be.
I will. I learned about the flow form from the Waldorf School in East Aurora, and
which our children went to.
Right, and I had this desire when I saw one at one of my clients' house to put one on Lake Erie because they purify, energize the water as it flows through the 7 forms and create negative ions for the environment. And so I held that aim, and I spoke to my daughter, who is an interior designer, as well as a lot of community people, Juliet, and her family included, and I had people who wished to invest in it. But I'm not a solo agent.
Right.
I'm a networker, and I like to collaborate with community people of all walks. And so so we talked about it, Courtney got it, and finally one day she told me that she was going to help me. And it's interesting because on that same day that so we celebrated in the kitchen, we danced around and had a great time. And she also asked me a question about, she said, "Mom, I turn on my telephone and my birthday comes up. What do you think that means?" Her birthday is 818, which is infinity, right? So anyway, back to the flow form. So obviously it's a 7-fold flow form. So 7 is significant. This is the 7th year of Courtney's passing. And when she decided to leave the planet, March 11th, 2015, I unexpectedly, it was very sudden, and she was a successful designer. She had a store with her childhood friend Haley Caro on Elmwood Avenue. We had actually just done an event with the Japanese garden group and Sato restaurant. We collaborated and taught Ikebana, which, how appropriate that we're here.
Right.
And then went over and had some beautiful food. And 1 week later, Courtney was gone, and the entire city was devastated because there was no indication that she would ever consider what she chose to do. And I was completely heartbroken. And so because she had told me she wanted to help me with this project, I just felt like it was really important to complete the project. Water is what is up right now. We are 76% water, and we can't live without it. And so water in all of its forms, including human form, is extremely valuable. So I got the books, and I decided I'm not a big study person. So I picked the skinny book. The other book has beautiful pictures, and I look at that frequently. I mean, I read the other book, but for a study group, you don't want it to drag on and on, especially when you're working with all of these emotions. I handpicked the people who I knew could be really supportive for this team to bring this project to Western New York. And so we began a book study. For me, it was the go-to for my own grounding, so that I kept my feet on the ground and my heart intact, because nobody knew what to do with that intense energy. It was
so profound. I mean, I was at a loss. We did that song. I haven't sung in a million years, and I just did that because it was for Courtney.
Blackbirds singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to.
Everybody did tear up, but it was such a profound moment. She broke open the hearts of everybody in a way where there was devastation, but I also think that when a heart breaks, it makes room for more light.
Yes.
And Courtney definitely just brought light to everybody, living and in her passing. You know, she's just a beautiful soul. It was helpful for you to immerse, to take that passion for your daughter. It's a different type of passionate living when you lose someone who's so a part of you, to take that grief, to take that energy, and to put it into something that you're passionate about, that you know they would have loved, is helpful in the healing process, you
Absolutely.
would say? Yeah.
I often reflect on her being an interior designer, and at her ceremony at the Birchfield Penny, people came up to me and I just tried to reassure them
Yeah.
that she is an interior designer. So it's not about making things pretty on the outside of your
Right,
house,
right.
but she was very spiritual and really working. She was 27 years old and really working on understanding what is the meaning and purpose of my life. Why am I here? And when I went to her apartment, she had all the different spiritual teachers on her nightstand, you know, Deepak and Pema Chodron and Rudolf Steiner.
Wow.
And the Bible and the Quran. I mean, she was searching for the answer. And she unfortunately had a moment where she lost hope in her ability to continue to thrive. When she and I were talking about this project, I said to her, let's co-create heaven on earth. That's my dream. That's my passion, to co-create
And
heaven on earth.
this flow form is heaven on earth.
That's heaven on earth, right? Because it will support the planet in ways that we don't even fully understand, because it is sacred geometry. The geometry and the movement of the lemniscate that moves through the large vessel down to a smaller one, and then eventually falls into a pool. And in the center of the flow form, we placed a tiger's eye, because Courtney's middle name that she chose herself was Tiger Lily. And
I
so
love that.
we wanted that
I love
tiger eye representation there. And so you asked me about what would I tell someone else. And what I would tell someone is, remind yourself of the things that give you strength. So the tools that we have that keep us grounded and remind us that life is beautiful. And it's a gift to have this body, to be here, to be the conduit. I continue to remind myself of that, and then I do a few self-Brima movement exercises to continue to remind myself. But also allowing yourself to be receptive, to allow yourself to connect with those people who are your go-to people, who can just sit in silence with you, or listen to the pain over and over and over again, the same story, and not judge you for not being able to come out of it. I mean, there's no time on how long it takes, and you may never fully recover from something so devastating, but taking a step in a direction to know that whatever you choose to do to support yourself, that mutual support will support someone else.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. This is such an intimate thing to share, and I'm so grateful. I'm grateful you were able to talk about it and share it, because I think it's going to help. It's going to help somebody who's sitting there, who's struggling with this.
There's so many people, and water is such a purifier, right? It's what we
Right.
get baptized with. We bathe the body before we bury the body. It is what transforms energy.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's powerful.
it is. Amazing conductor. I love you. Thank you so much for joining me today on this adventure into passionate living. And we hope you enjoyed all of our wonderful guests who We're here today to inspire you to live your dreams and then to use those dreams to make a difference in the world around you. Make sure to join us every week on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. on your true hometown station, WBBZ. As well, you can join us on our website at passionateliving.com and on our YouTube channel, Passionate Living TV. And thanks so much again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week on an amazing journey into passionate living.